Hey, what's going on, guys? 81 Oak Ridge. They have a Blu Ray DVD update. I got about 42 titles here. Probably going to be a 2 or 3 part video because I don't want to make, a one long 60-minute video. First film is Night of the Demons from 1988. This is the Screen Factory edition. I got it with the slipcover for $35 shipped. One of my favorite 80s horror films. Love it. You got interviews with Linnea Quigley, with the special effects artist Steve Johnson. Just packed with special features, as you could see. A lot of people say it's cheesy, but I still love it. It's one of those movies I watch every Halloween. You got gratuitous nudity, Films pretty much followed the same formula in the 80s. Still haven't gotten all those special features, but this is the first time I've actually seen the unrated edition, so you got some extra gore in there. Show you the interior art, if I can get it out. Love that original art. I could fix it. There we go. You're invited to my party, Angela. I love that. That's what I always remember seeing at the video store as a kid, that iconic art. Love it. There's Night of the Demons. We have The Burning. What happened with this is I actually lent out my copy. I had this, but a friend of mine, the slipcover came back all fucked up and had to get a replacement slipcover. I was looking for a replacement slip online, and I found one on eBay for about $40, which is ridiculous for a piece of cardboard. But I found the film brand new, sealed with the slipcover for $42, and I just decided to order it. Definitely one of my favorite slasher films of the 80s. I just love it. It's not only a great companion piece with Friday the 13th, I think it's a better film than Friday the 13th, if you ask me. All the kills are on screen. When Friday the 13th, the camera kind of pans away during the violent scenes because of the MPA. I don't know why the MPA didn't attack this film, but you see all the gore, on screen. It's got great interviews with cast and crew. Tony Malum. You got Blood and Fire Memories, which is basically an interview with Tom Savini. He usually tapes all of his work, especially his earlier work. So you see behind the scenes footage with him, working on the practical effects. You got an interview with the guy who played Cropsy. Just love it. I love this film. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So I got the, of course, as you guys know, with the Screen Factories, you get the iconic poster art of the, let me get it out all the way, the theatrical art, which I absolutely love. You got Cropsy there with his hedge clippers. I love that commission art as well. Definitely one of my favorite Screen Factory releases. And then we have Savage Streets which is definitely one of my favorite 80s films. This is actually a color-corrected Blu-ray from Code Red. They had put out a Blu-ray a few years ago, but it looked no better than the Scorpion DVD, and there was no special features on there. This is definitely the way to go if you're a fan of the film. Sorry about that glare. It's got tons of interviews with, Linnea Quigley, and pause if you want to read that. Just an amazing 80s film. I love it. John Vernon there. Linda Blair, who's incredible in this. And it's basically, let me see if I can get it out. It's basically a clear slipcase, as you can see. It's got that art, and then the reverse art is the purple cover from the other release. Next up is Hereditary. This is definitely my favorite horror film of 2018. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Excellent cinematography. Toni Collette is amazing in this. I think it's going to be one of those films that turns into a cult classic in the next 5 or 10 years. Just love it. The suspense is just absolutely palpable. A very sadistic, mean-spirited, ending too. Just love it. Got decent special features. I hope they come out with a double disc or something with more special features, because I love the film that much. I just think it's brilliant on all levels. For me, definitely a 10 out of 10. Brilliant. Okay. Next up is Slaughter High. Just one of those forgotten slasher films of the 80s. It's really sad that the kid that played Marty wound up committing suicide, shortly after filming. I don't know if it was drug related or if he was depressed. So sad. As for this, the picture quality, it's a little bit cloudy looking, but overall the picture quality is very sharp. I think it's just the way it was filmed back then. As you guys know, the film had 2 directors or 3 during filming. Just a complete catastrophe. But if you ask me, I think, it's cheesy, but it's definitely enjoyable. It's got great kills. I love it personally. That's just, my opinion. I love sleazy slasher films. You got all the nudity you can ask for. Just a great film. Then we have the Evil Dead remake from 2003. I'm sorry, 2013. This is the unrated cut and the theatrical. Now, the theatrical is actually the director's cut. What was put in the theaters is what the director wanted. The unrated version just has extra gore scenes that were cut out to avoid the NC-17 rating. And it's got a little bit of additional dialogue. Now, the scenes that were cut out was the tongue-splitting scene, the scene where she gets cut in half. I'm sorry, the main girl, her brother, cuts his girlfriend's body completely in half when she turns evil. That was cut out of the theatrical cut completely. The scene where the one girl gets bitten on the hand and her arm turns evil, and she cuts her arm off with the electric knife. That's much more graphic, and they show a lot more. So if you ask me, it's worth it. I got this from diabolicdvd.com for $26.50 plus shipping. I mean, it's a little bit, it's definitely these distribution companies double dipping, trying to get you to spend more money. But with me, me, with uncut editions, I have to get it. So, and this is definitely one of my favorite remakes of all time. I just love this film from start to finish. So, if you love gore and you want to see the unrated, uncut edition, I would definitely check this out. Okay. We have Trick or Treat, which is an excellent horror anthology film from 2007. Really shocked this film hasn't gotten didn't get a theatrical release. Definitely would have made, a lot of money at the box office. I got this up there with, Tales from the Hood as my favorite modern day horror anthologies. I just love both, they're definitely up there. This is a film I'll watch every Halloween. It's just got that great, festive Halloween feel to it. Pause if you want to read the special features. It's absolutely packed. I have the other Blu Ray that was released, a long time ago. And from what I noticed, this, looks a little bit better. It's a little bit sharper, but there's no significant difference between this and the old Blu Ray release as far as picture quality. But as far as features, this blows it away. Next up we have is Return of the Living Dead, Part 2, 1987 or 88. I think it was released in 88. This is a decent film. It's not the best. Of course, it's not as good as the original from 1985, but I'm not really crazy about this commission art. It's alright. I like the original artwork better. Show you the back. It's a fun, cheesy ride. It's nothing to be taken too seriously. I have yet to see all the special features, so I couldn't speak on that. What I love most about this is the original art. I just love this art. I think it's gorgeous. This is, hold on, let me move this. I saw this outside of a movie theater when my mother took me to see the film Emperor of the Sun in 88. And I remember looking at this theatrical art and just being in awe of it. Let me see if I can get it better. That's better. Just love that art. It's absolutely beautiful. It does look a lot like the Fright Night theatrical art, but I like this better actually. Same back. Just love that art. I could look at this all day. It's a little bit too. Try to get it better. There we go. And there's Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Then we have Red, White, and Blue, which is one of my favorite revenge films. Basically about a girl who befriends a guy. They become very tight, but beforehand she infects 3 men with HIV, knowing she had HIV. So these guys are after her and they do significant damage to her. I'm not going to spoil it, but the guy that she was really close friends with goes after these 3 guys that take her life. And A lot of people say it's overkill what he does to the three men, but it involves kids being tied up, and it is. There's a scene at the end where a little girl is pleading for her life, and it's very hard to watch. But just a brilliant film. I love it. I cannot recommend this enough. Like I said, guys, this is going to be probably a 2 or 3 part video, so I'm probably going to end it, within the next 5 minutes. Next up is It from 1990. I actually like this a lot more than the remake. I think the remake is just, it has too much CG in it. I hate the way Pennywise looks in the remake. This is just a cult classic, if you ask me. That's a little bit better. Great Stephen King adaptation. It's a little bit long, but I definitely like it a lot more than the remake. I couldn't get into the remake. People are like, what? You don't like it? I gotta end it here because I can't get the brightness up on my phone. Okay. That's a little bit better. But yeah, I love Pennywise in this. In the remake, just the bunny teeth and the CGI eyes on Pennywise, just ridiculous. This film's a little bit more realistic, and it's a lot creepier. So, there's Stephen King's It. And as you can see, I got about 30 more films to go. So stay tuned for part 2. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.